Everyone. I extend my warm welcome to all the dignitaries and participants present in this National Summit 2020, Innovation in Forensic Era, structured by the JACS Foundation, presenting the theme of the innovation, research and entrepreneurship. I would like to thank all the people for their dedication, efforts and time. Our today's keynote speakers are Mr. Samir Dutt and Dr. Arun Sharma. Mr. Samir Dutt, he is a certified disk duplication and computer forensics specialist from the USA. He is the founder CEO of the foundation Futuristic Technological Limited, better known as ForensicGuru.com. Our second is Dr. Arun Sharma, he is the director and the directorate of the forensic services, timely reports and the quality reports. Now, I am honored to invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Samir Dutt.
A very good morning to everyone, to all the dignitaries present in the conference, participants and delegates of the National Summit 2020, Innovation in the Forensic Era. As you're all aware, this is inspired by the idea of the United Nations Development Programme of Sustainable Development Goals 2030. These emphasize the idea of continuous contributions and innovations. Other than that, our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, had laid out his 8-point vision for the 21st century India. And the concept was to unite the entire country by adopting good governance and using technology. So the National Summit is going to help on a massive scale. And this is organized by the JACS Foundation, which is an international organization recognized by the Government of India under the Indian Trust Act. JACS Foundation has joined hands with the Sherlock Institute of Forensic Science. This is an endeavor for the development, representation, and advancement of different areas of forensic science. So what are the summit objectives? Basically, to provide a common platform for academicians, researchers, practitioners, and government officials to share ideas related to applications of forensic research and innovation. To provide an open platform for forensic aspirants to carry out their own ventures, facilitated by detailed information and opportunities. What measures should be considered to widen the spread of application of forensic science and to provide an academic forum for discussing the barriers, issues, and challenges faced in successful implementation of research and innovative outcomes to society. To facilitate academic deliberations as to how to further the core objectives of forensics, operating towards enhancing the overall human experience and quality of life. So let's talk about innovation. India is the land of innovation. I mean, you remember the, COVID, when, COVID became so widespread, everybody was worried. Nobody wanted to, get in contact with each other. So people came up with very innovative solutions. And you can see social distancing at its best here. There is a milkman. He is, delivering milk to somebody and he's doing it from a distance. And this is 100% working innovation at its best. This is our Indian Jugaad. So India is the land of innovation. In fact, the power of Indian innovation is huge. I mean, it's not, really common to see this kind of innovation in a lot of other countries. In India, you will find that, people will, make a cycle look like a motorcycle. They will convert a motorcycle into a three-wheeler. They will, do a lot of things. They will be pumping water up the mountain, using innovative techniques and a lot of things. That's because we have innovation in our blood. We have it in our DNA. So why don't we have it in forensics? That is the question. So we need to build the right kind of ecosystem to encourage forensic innovation. We need to stop looking at the West for everything. This is a great tendency that we have, that we have to, look at the West and we think, that is the best. It is not. In fact, a few years ago, I was in Washington, D.C., and I was speaking at a particular conference, and I was presenting certain technologies that we have developed in India. Now, these were related to, telecom log investigations. So, after my session was over, a lot of these law enforcement and government people, they came outside of the room and they all, surrounded me and they said, how did you, develop a thing like this in India? India is not known for forensic innovation. It's not known for investigative, innovations. So, I said, look, in India, we have got 1.3 billion people, 900 million cell phones. The cost of a call is less than 1/100th of a cent per second, and now it's free because of Reliance Jio to Jio and things like that. So we don't have very good say fingerprint databases. We don't have very strong DNA databases. We don't have very good ballistic databases. So today most of the investigations start from the telecom area. So if we are not good, we are not going to catch anybody. So we have to be the best. So that is why, we really lead in that area. So that's why we need to stop looking at the West for everything. We have the kind of volumes nobody else has, the kind of expertise that nobody else has. Our doctors have the best experience. Our scientists have the most exposure because of the volume of cases that they see. So, we should start looking at our own capabilities and develop our own research and our own innovation and, go with that. So both innovative technologies and methodologies can come from India, and they should come from India. The basic idea behind forensics is to provide scientific evidence of a crime. That has to be backed by proven scientific methodologies in a manner acceptable to courts of law. So what is required to do that? So we need to actually have, a lovely ecosystem that supports that. We need to build an environment of encouragement. I like this, phrase, an environment of encouragement. For an ecosystem to be effective, it needs to encourage the inhabitants of that ecosystem to innovate, to bring up new things. So that is why I say, we must have an environment of encouragement. We need support for research, for government and academia. We need financial support, we need technological support, we need structural support, we need all sorts of support. The government and academia needs to encourage true research, research that's not been done before. Really cutting edge things that are which will actually impact society, which will produce results, which we can take to the world. Rather than importing things, let's be more Atmanirbhar. Let's develop these kind of research and capabilities in-house. The direction for research needs to be guided. You can involve the private sector and academia in this. They need to be pointed in the right direction. A lot of steps are being taken these days. You find a lot of like DRDO is organizing things, the ISRO is organizing things, saying, oh look, we need research in these areas, we need technology in these areas, we need import substitution in these areas. So this is a great trend. It's the same thing we need to start looking at from the forensics perspective. We need to say, all right, we need research in these areas. These are the things we've got to look at. The private sector is innovative. You need to encourage it. You need to say, all right, guys, go ahead and do it. What happens is that the government looks at the private sector with a jaundiced eye. They will say, oh, this is the private sector. Ye private hai, bhai, inka koi interest hai. Things happen because inka interest hai. If the private sector has an interest in the area, they will make things happen. They will invest time, effort and money into that area to bring innovation to that area. So if you encourage it, it will do well. anywhere in the world. I mean, if you look at, countries like Israel, if you look in the US, the innovation, the expertise has come from the private sector. They have, worked with the government bodies. They have worked with the academia. You'll find a lot of partnerships with universities, with government organizations, and products have been developed and solutions have been brought that are really groundbreaking, path breaking. So all that has to be done. And, if you encourage the private sector, they'll get involved. There needs to be a preference for Indian products. This is beginning to happen, though more on paper, but hopefully, it will also be visible on the ground. So it's the fact of be vocal about local. As per our Prime Minister, he said that we should be vocal about local. So let's make this happen. Let's think along these lines. Let's innovate locally and then be vocal about it, that this is an innovation that has been done locally. This is an Indian innovation. Let's, go for it. We need to support to take Indian products global. I mean, we need to bring this culture into our government bureaucracy, into our, different foreign embassies and high commissions and things like that. That, because we find so many other foreign countries, embassies and high commissions taking a proactive approach to promote their products in India. We should have the same approach. Last year I was in Greece. We were having a meeting with some government officials there about certain, products that we have from India, which we were taking there. And we had meetings with all the top officials in Greece. But to get a meeting with the Indian Trade Commissioner over there in the embassy, they said, you send us a letter and we'll get in touch with you after a week or so. So you see, the approach has to change. That thinking has to change. You have to look at being for your country, for promoting your products. You need to get rid of the bureaucracy and start, thinking nationally, thinking, innovatively. So these things are required and these have to be looked at, And then we need to build new methodologies for new technologies to enable advanced forensic capabilities. So can we make this happen? Absolutely. All we need to do is get all our things aligned. We need to get all our ducks in a row. That's what we need to do. So remember, if we can get all our ducks in a row, innovation is in our hand. We can make it happen. So innovate, 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 so India can lead the world. It's our time to shine. Thank you very much. And I wish the summit all the very best. I would like to thank all the dignitaries present in the conference, the participants and delegates of the National Summit. And I would conclude my speech by encouraging all the delegates to participate with full enthusiasm. I wish everyone a successful, safe, and fruitful conference. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us with your words. We will always take care for the environment of the encouragement. We will always take care for this one. So now,